So how did we get started making maple syrup? It was something my grandpa and I started doing as a school project. I was homeschooled, and 7th grade, my grandpa and I had a little bit of cabin fever. We were looking for something to do that real early spring, late winter time frame. Couldn't really get out in the fields yet. There wasn't anything to plant or grow, so we decided to tap 12 maple trees and make our very own maple syrup. So we hand whittled some wooden taps. We cleaned out milk jugs, hung them on the tree with sisal balers twine, and I just fell in love. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. We boiled the syrup over a wooden fire on a little 2-gallon pot outside every Saturday and Sunday. That's what we would do. We'd spend all week collecting the syrup, then spend all weekend boiling the syrup. One weekend we burn a batch of syrup, and apparently then that made us official maple sugar producers. So that was kind of how we got our start in making maple syrup, and then I grew it a little bit each year ever since, and then we started dating.
So we started dating when we were 15, 16 years old, fairly young, to the point where we were pretty much just driving. And I would come up to the farm, and a lot of our winter activities were making maple syrup. We would spend a ton of time out in the woods tapping trees as we grew the operation. A lot of time was spent running lines throughout the woods, a lot of neighbor properties. We got permission from the neighbors and some of the other landowners in the area and ran some maple tubing and lines. So we had big trash cans full of maple sap that we would run through the woods on four-wheelers and go collect sap, and then spend days upon days boiling sap down to the point where there was some times that we boiled sap around the clock. We were in there from early in the morning until early the next morning. We would set up a cot in the sugar shack and boil all night. We'd take shifts, keeping the fire stoked. We would cook on the back of the evaporator. We would put little pizzas back there and cook our dinner on the back of the evaporator. And we spent a lot of time in that sugar shack boiling all that sap down, because as we know, it takes a ton of sap to make a little bit of syrup. So we kept that evaporator cooking pretty much all the time, and it was a really fun way for us to bond, and is a fun activity for us as a couple.
So those times making maple syrup kind of led us to what we have today. It was the start of our passion together in agriculture and the agriculture industry, and we then got the opportunity to buy our current farm that we have today, and we are often asked, where did the name come from? Well, that passion that we had for the maple industry started in Fishing Creek Valley, just over that mountain right there, and we loved the maple industry, and hence the name Maple Valley Acres. And it's just kind of a reflection on those sweet times we had together as we started our agriculture career. So thanks for watching.